Um, Good morning to everyone. So everyone doing good. Myself, Kesav Suryan. I'm a senior software engineer in Software for around 4+ years experience. So today section is going to be a Salesforce Lightning Flow. So everyone have attended the Salesforce classes from beginning. Everyone have an idea about the Salesforce and what Salesforce does and what are the things in the Salesforce. So this is the main course on the plate. Today's topic, Salesforce flow. We have just learn about what's the Salesforce flow, where we can use, what are the type of Salesforce flow, uh, that kind of things with this upcoming sections. And today's session, you will learn a lot. If you have any doubt in with yourself, just you can add your cart and we can check it out at the end of the meeting. So first of all, I like to share my screen. I will just start my PPT here. Okay. At the end of the session, I need to feed few of the things to you. So I hope so. So it's a simple introduction to Salesforce flow builder. Salesforce is a automation tool. You can just automate any of the things like email messaging and any field updates on any other objects using Salesforce flow. And for user interaction, also we can use our Salesforce flow to interact with the user to get input without any single custom coding line inside our Salesforce. So in Salesforce, we have the main thing which is a flow. We already have a workflow and a process builder. To overcome this, we have a Salesforce flow. It will fulfill all of our needs without code. The main motto of a Salesforce is to become a no code with low code. So that's a main thing. So forward looking statement. If you are using any Salesforce flow and or any element in our flow, you must ensure that it may be available for everyone. If you are using any beta version, it may remove for the next releases. So you make sure that your requirements and clear with that. If it's only available to you, you can just use that in your production sandbox. So it's for that. Other thing was today agenda to see about introduction to Salesforce automation, and the other thing was workflow and process builder, and little introduction to flows and types of flows. Then we can move on to our live demo with how you can just use our screen flow and how you can just create on particular fields, and you can just show to the customers and how they can easy to use, just on admin handle it. Depending upon that, we can show few things to this. And the other thing was flow best practices, what you need to do when you are creating a flow, what you need not to do when you are creating a flow. So that of the most tip will be covered on that flow best practices. At last, finally, you have lots of things in your card, so we can check it out that doubts in the Q&A. So these are the major things today we going to discuss in this session. Yeah, the path where flow is in Salesforce. First Salesforce bring workflows and a process builder, and after that they bring flows. In workflows, we have just send an emails, create a task, field updates, on-phone message, like that, simple things. In process builders, you can just launch a flow from the process builder. You can invoke custom codings, which means nothing but Apex class and other approval submissions, create a new record. That are the few of the things are available in process builder. Uh, Apart from this, Salesforce bring a flow which include all of kind of things more than this workflows and process builders. In flow, we have a schedule task, records, list iteration, field update, screen flows. A few of the things will more of the things are covered in without going to your custom codings. So workflows and process builders are deprecated in Salesforce. Deprecating means nothing but it's just they won't release any new versions or new updates to that particular modules, but it's available for all the but it's available with the previous updates, so won't be removed from that organization, because many of the clients, or it may be used by some people in their production org, so it may affect their old logics, so it will be available here. So Salesforce is mainly concentrating on flow, because everyone admin have easy access to create this flow, and easily the admin can understand, and with low maintenance, so everything will be possible with Salesforce flow. But we have few of that limitations, but we have done most of the things with our Salesforce flow, like UI or background process. Everything will be possible in our Salesforce flow. So my expectation is to understand what are the sales flow, and at the end of this workshop you have understand what are the types of flow, what is the difference between types of Salesforce flows, where you can use which flows you need to use in which time, for which process you need to use which type of flows, like that. You will be able to build at least few of the automation logic for your own with your own requirements. So first, before move on to that flow, I just need to show where workflows and process builders are located in your environment. For that, I am just going to my new tab. Just type in login.salesforce. Everyone, I hope so. Everyone have a Salesforce developer org. This kind of features are mostly available in our setup homepage. So first of all, if you are logged into your Salesforce organization, it's just move on to your application. You may aware of that. In previous session, they covered this what's Salesforce application, and objects and fields, everything. So this is, yeah.
Yeah, we can't able to see the new tab.
Okay.
We are in
Thanks
the presentation screen.
thanks for confirming. Yeah. Now you are able to see my screen.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for confirming. Yeah. Uh, this is our sales app. You may aware of this. In previous section, they may covered this Salesforce applications. Every flow automation tools are under listing under our setup page, so the admin can configure easily. So for that, you just log in as a system administrator. You can just click on that gear icon. You just click your setup. It will be navigate to your setup page. Now you have a page. You can just type here workflows. You have workflow rules, everything here. We listed in that PPT, email alerts, field update, outbound messages. Yeah, these are the workflow rules. You can just create it, but it's a Salesforce recommended that don't use this workflows. Please go with flow. You can just see this warning. Go with flow with flow builder. Instead of low code automation, you can do everything you do with workflow rules. So it's advanced of workflow rule. So Salesforce recommended to use our flow. Then other thing was you have a process builder. This also available under setup category. You have a process builder here. So here also you can just automate some few of the things. Here also Salesforce mentioned that go with flow builder to the future of a low code automation. So Salesforce recommended to avoid process builder and workflows. Inside of that, they recommended us to use Salesforce flows. So we are now you can understand that what's what's the important things of Salesforce flow, how it's a future thing in Salesforce. So you must everyone need to aware of that. So easy to use, and without any coding knowledge, it's a simple thing. So finally, I will just show my flow where it's available. Here is the flow. You can just click on that. You have able to create a new flow. So these are the things I need to find initially show to you. Then we can continue with our PPT. Yeah. Why go with flow? Here I need to answer that, and this was you will learn how to create the flow. Also understand why flows are introduced when already we have workflows and process builders and trigger that do a similar job. Okay, first question: what's a flow? Everyone have any idea about flow? You can just post it in our chat. Um, Inside of the process builder and workflows, we have more advantage in flow. So a flow is a tool that automates a business process. Then okay, simple answer is that flow are much more advanced than the process builder and workflows. And the long answer is we have Apex triggers, lightning web components, and lightning components. With this we can perform custom implementation. But there is a downside, which is that we need to know how to code. For example, inside of flow we can use lightning web component, lightning component. It's with these are all using with custom coding, but flow is a uh, no code logic. So let's say don't know how to code but still want to do some kind of implementation. Salesforce has come up with few standard features. The first one is workflow. We do not need to code, but we are very limited with workflows. We can perform only poor actions. So we need to perform more than that. We cannot do until process builder was introduced. So process builder has been added to a Salesforce lately, and it can perform almost all actions which is more workflow can do. But even process builder is limited. For example, we can't delete a set of records, we can't perform a custom prolog summary action, and we can't clone real record. So these things process builder cannot handle. To do that, we have only use Apex trigger, lightning web component, and lightning component. But these are the custom coding. For that, have a really powerful tool called Flow. So Flow may use flow with that flow builder. You can use or build your own logic with just one point and click tool. You no need to code anything on that particular area. So flow is a must, is a powerful tool. And then next was a lightning flow. Lightning flow is the main motto is the no code low code. I already mentioned earlier. So for a drag and drop tool, you can just easily drag one particular element to that Salesforce Canva. You can just connect it and you can anything for logic. If you need to create any records or you need to get query any records by that by using the Salesforce flow element, you can just do that whatever you want. In after in later week you can see the demo how to use that, how to drag and drop that, how to you can just get the record, how to you can create the record, what are the variables available in Salesforce flow, and a few kind of things like if you have a if statement in your if and if else in our custom coding like that we follow has a decision element, you can just perform decisions here. That are the few things covered on later in this section. It's the main thing. Salesforce has a types in flows. So flow has mainly two types. First of all, the screen flow and auto launch flow. Here you have a question. When I need to go with screen flow, when I need to go with auto launch flow. So first of all, I just explained the screen flow. Screen flow is mainly used for user interaction. If any customer need to input the data to the system, you can just go with screen flow. If anything is not achievable by the standard Salesforce layout, you can prefer Salesforce screen flow to overcome that problem to solve with flow solutions. That's the main thing. Screen flow is mainly for to get a user interaction, mainly designed for a user interaction. Then auto launch flow. What's the need of auto launch flow? Generally, in every environment we have a background logic. For example, consider my birthday is falls on November 24. I need to send an email with my name, advance happy birthday to anyone. It's a background process. That's a background process. There is no needs of user interaction. So for that we have multiple auto launch flows. So we can just use that flows to do that kind of actions. So in auto launch flows we have several types. So first thing was no trigger flow, which means nothing but the flow did not do any action until you call that flow from another flow. It's for example, it's like if you need to if you need to continuously perform on particular operations for every logic, you can just move that particular elements to that particular flow. You can just reuse in every flows. It's mainly for reusability. The second thing is record trigger flow. This flow may occur when you may aware of that Salesforce has a lead object, contact object, and account object. You have gone through that. So in that scenario, if any new lead is came to your particular database, so for that you need to trigger anything. For example, if you need to send an email to your supervisor, hey, this is the name with this lead is newly received to our organization. Please just take a look on that. So for that kind of actions, you can just use record trigger flow. Record trigger flow is only perform an action when you can create a record or update a record or delete a record. In that case, we have managed this record trigger flow with two different types. First of all, you have just use the record trigger flow before the data are committed to a database or after committed to the database. We can just do this record trigger flow in two scenarios. That's the one thing. The third thing is scheduled trigger flow. You can just schedule this flow on particular time on every day or daily basis or weekly basis. It can be send it can be, for example, I given an example previously for the date of birth. My date of birth is falls on November 27, so I need to send an email to me. So on November 27, hey, happy birthday to me, like that. So for that scenarios we use a schedule flow. And platform trigger flow is little advanced. It may be any event or publish in this particular platform event. We can just subscribe to that particular platform event. Platform is event is nothing but it's one object available in Salesforce. You can just create it and you can post any data to the particular platform event. It will be filed automatically. You can just subscribe to any in using a Lightning Web Component or flow to receive that event. You can perform any logics. Orchestration flow is a flow. It's a most of the people are using this flow rarely, very rare scenarios. In this, main advantage of this orchestration flow is you can just call auto launch flow here, trigger flow here, and your screen flow here. The three flows are called by you can call these three flows in this orchestration flow. That's a main advantage of this flows. These are the things, several things I need to list out for you. These are the very basic things. If you know with this, you can just grab some ideas when you are implementing any logics in your system. So what flow is useful for me, and what flow I need to go with, and what kind of flow I need to use in auto launch for a trigger, for a schedule, for a platform, for a node trigger. So you can just get an clarity of the with this particular things. So I'm moving next, and it's already I mentioned that it's a little thing. It's a screen flow guided visual experience. If your business process requires input from a user, you can just use a screen flow. And the other one thing was you can just also drag and drop your Lightning Web Component also inside our Salesforce screen flow. It's a main advantage. And the other thing was you can just call your Apex class from the Salesforce. If anything or have a barrier to your logic, if you, that's only able to perform in your Apex class, you can just pass that values to that Apex. You can get written back and you can just use in that flow. I hope so. You have don't aware of maybe some people already work in Salesforce. They can aware of that Lightning web component and Lightning component and API classes. So no worry about that. It's you can just learn that from upcoming sections. So that's not a thing for this creating the Salesforce screen flows or auto launch flows. So then that other one thing was if you created one screen flow user traction, how I can use that screen flows in our Salesforce applications, right? If you create anything with the user interaction, I need to apply to our Salesforce application in any of the places. That's a that's main thing. So for that, Salesforce ScreenFlow can access from our custom buttons and actions, custom links, Lightning components or apps, utility bars, Lightning record pages, and Lightning experience, etc. For example, if I have one home page, I need to drag and drop the sorry. If I have the home page, I need to drag and drop our screen flow here. So I'm just click this gear icon, just click on edit. You have a flow element. You may aware of this Lightning app builder. I think so. They may cover in previous sessions. So how to you can just drag and drop element here. Yeah. Here you can have an n number of standard components and custom components here. So it may cover in previous section. I hope so. So here you have a flow. You can just drag and drop here. If you have any screen flow, it's available here. So for example, if any screen flow available here, you can just choose from here. You can just click save. Yeah, you will able to see the screen flow. Yeah, these are two fields I added in that screen flow. These are the simple things, and you may aware of some people aware of utility bar. Utility bar is nothing but it's available under bottom of every application. Here I have added a omni-channel and chatter publisher. Or if you need to add any flow to this particular utility bar, you can just navigate to your flow setup and you can just click on your app manager. You have a list of applications. It may you created by you or it's Salesforce standard application. Just I'm typing an app manager. I have few of the application here like a case wall, CWS like that. You can just click edit. You have that utility items here. You can just click this add utility item. Here you have a flow, right? So just click this and save this. That's it. You can now you have able to access your Salesforce flow through their utility icons. Yeah, that's it. About how to you can use Salesforce flows and screen flows in our particular sales application. And we can move on to next slide. Yeah, this is the flow builders look like. For flow builder, you can just go to our setup. Same like that. I already shown to you. This is the flow builder. Now able to see, I mentioned in the previous slides with the screen flows and record trigger flows, schedule trigger flows, platform event trigger flows, and auto launch flows, and remote triggered orchestration flows, everything here. So first of all, we in this today's topic session, we go with the screen flow, and tomorrow we have able to get an idea of how to create a record trigger flow, schedule trigger flow, and most of the things covered by tomorrow's session. Today's we are mainly concentrating on screen flows. So just I choose the screen flow and I'm just create, and it will be creating one flow for me. Now you will be able to see this particular new resources, everything. In the flow have two views. One is a free form and another one is auto layout. Auto layout is nothing but it can just align with themselves. But in free form you need to align everything. So this is a free form view, and the other thing was auto launch, auto layout view. So again, I am continuing with my PPT. So here I have a few of the things. What are the things it's to be named as? I will be informed that. For the first one is the settings. So you can just see that what are the things available in that particular settings. So the second thing was toolbar. In the toolbar, you are able to create a new resources or new resources, and you can create anything on that element. It will be available listing under this particular toolbar. That's one thing. And third is canvas, which is nothing but you can just drag and drop every element into this particular canvas. So it's that thing was called as a canva, and fourth one was a record trigger. Fourth one is nothing but it's a start element. Every flow is start with that particular start element. For if you're taking any screen flow or any record trigger flow, any auto launch flow, every type of flows had that particular start element, because if you are launching any screen flow from that particular home page or record page, it will be start from that particular start elements. That's it. And and fifth one was it's a create element. It's elements. So it's called as element. If you create or get or query a particular record or insert a particular record, it may be it all of that kind of things are called as elements. For example, if you're sending in any emails that are using action elements, so here you see that email account owner and account revenue over and email owner manager, create larger, create records. These are called as elements. And the sixth one is zoom in, zoom out option. If you want to clearly view the particular flow, you can just click plus icon on that canva. The flow will be automatically zoom in, and you can click in that minus icon. You will automatically able to zoom out this particular flow. These are the few basic things of these are the few things available in our flow. When you are creating this flow, you need to use this particular appropriate components. Here you have a toolbox. This is only specifically for screen flow. In auto launch flow, the screen interaction, that kind of things are not available. Only for the screen flow, the screen interaction will be available. So here you have interaction elements and you have a logical element, data and the data elements. So for example, you say interaction, which is if you need to get any input. If for example, if you are AngularJS developer like that, if you want to create a website or design a website, you for the user interaction you typing a number of codes to that particular web pages. So for that we have an interaction element. You can just drag this element to the particular node of the flow. You can just add and drag and drop the fields what you want to what are the fields you need to get an input from the particular user. So that kind of logics are applicable available under that interaction element. And action, which means nothing but you can just send an email on the you can call as apex class. That kind of scenarios are available on interaction. And subflow is other thing I already mentioned, that if you need to reuse any of other logics to in many of the flows. You can just create a auto launch flow and you can just use it in this particular screen flow by using the subflow element. And logic assignment is nothing but if you are assigning one particular value to one particular variable, that is available in assignments. And the other thing was decision. It's a if else statement. You're using a if else, right? That's a decision. And second thing is loop. Obviously if you are using a loop in particular coding like for loop like that, right? So for that we have a loop element. And other thing was collection sort, collection filter. Collection sort means if you have a unordered data, if you need to sort by particular name or create a date, you can just use collection sort. And the collection filter, if you have a list of data, so you need to filter few kind of things, you can just use a collection filters. Okay. And data elements. We have a create element, update records, create records, update records, get records, delete records. So rollback records. In create records, obviously the name itself it speaks. It's just creating a particular records in our database. And update means you obviously everyone knows to update the records. And third thing was get records. You just query the records and delete the records, which means obviously delete the record. If it's using a rollback element, if you are commit any create or update, it will automatically roll back. So it will not be commit to the database. And the other thing was we have a drag and drop tools elements. We already discussed it. We have one few comparison with Apex and our flow. So I already mentioned that for the action you can just call the Apex classes. For subflow you can you invoke another flow. We have few of the details here with the examples we added in our PPT. So I'm just wrapping up this with a few of the things. You can just visualize this from the previous content. I will spoke on that. So here we have assignments, right? For a string name equal to Ashok. So I already mentioned the assignment is used for assigning one particular value to particular variable. So we have performed these operations here. And decision was if else condition I already mentioned, and loop was for loop for iteration. So for pass you can just leave it as no. I'm not confusing with pass inside this flow. We can after the demo we can mention that what's use of pass element in Salesforce flow. Here, create record, update record, and delete record for a DML and get record for SOQL. So everyone aware of, I hope so aware of SOQL and DML. So that kind of things performed by data elements. And then how you can create a new variable and you can assign that to particular how you can create a new variable and how you can assign a particular value to that particular variable. So here is flow has provided a new resource. By clicking that new resource you can just create initialize any variables like text or if you need to bring on Salesforce object value, so you can just use a record variable and pick list multi-select. There will be many options available in that particular new resource. In next of the demo, Saranam will showcase this to you. So I'm just complete. Now it's a time for a demo. So before the demo, I just need to show that resources available in our Salesforce flow. Here is a new resources available here. We already seen the PPT, right? So you can use freeform. You're able to see all the element here. If you are using auto layout, you can just click on this plus icon. You can able to see these elements here for screen flow and actions. Assignment.
The screen is not visible.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Now are you okay with?
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks for confirming. Yeah. Yeah. We have freeform. In that freeform, we have just all the elements listed left side here. So by clicking the manager, you're able to create a new variable here. If you are using the auto layout, by clicking this plus icon, you have able to see this particular elements here. So you know, you also just clicking this, you're able to fill all the screen flow details here, and you can have a number of inputs here. For example, if you are using address or checkboxes, checkbox groups, currency tables, there will be many things available here, and you have also able to see your custom coding component also here. So you can just by clicking this, you can just drag and drop here. After that, you can fill all the details. You can just save it. That's it. That kind of things here. So for new resources, if you want to able to create any new value, initialize any new variables. So for that, you need to use new resources. By this, you have a variable, constant, formula field, text template, choice, collection choice set, record choice set, pick list, and stages. There will be many things available here. For example, I am just for time being, I am going with a variable. So it's a, I'm just typing a test one. So here we Salesforce asks which data type you need to use here. For example, if you are using a text, you can just to use a text. It's a text data type. If you are using a record, you are able to select one particular Salesforce object here. So if you are using the account, right? So just click this account. Now it can initialize account. So allow multiple values, which means it's a single instance or it's a list of values. If you need to use this as a list of values, you can just check this checkbox, allow multiple values. It may considered as a list. If it's unchecked, it's considered as a single record. So next you have a numbers, and next you have a currency, boolean data type, date and time, and pick list data type, and multi-select and apex define. Apex define is nothing but just you can create one wrapper class in apex, and you can just by using invocable annotation, so you can just use that particular apex class here. So in later on section, when you are learning with apex, they may teach you. So for now, you no need to consider that. If you are going with any API callouts in using the Salesforce flow, you need that apex define. Until for this any requirement, you don't need that. So these are the things. Now I hand over this to Saranan, and he will demonstrate our screen flow, and he will guide you how you can create and how you can add element and how you can just drag and drop in your applications. So that thing. Thanks for listening. So Saranan, you can please.